This international break was one of the wildest in recent times, with crazy upsets and controversial moments. I'm Gavin with Footballers, and I'll be taking you through the best of the November 2024 international break. Let's begin our adventures in Europe with the UEFA Nations League and a tiny country making big headlines. San Marino have just made history. That's right, the country ranked last in the FIFA World Rankings just won their UEFA Nations League group and gained promotion to League C. They did so by beating Liechtenstein twice. To put that into perspective, they've only won 3 total games in their history, including these 2. By drawing with Gibraltar once, they also currently hold their longest ever unbeaten streak of 2 games. Also, their 3-1 win against Liechtenstein was the only time they had ever scored more than 1 goal in a game. Knowing all these things, for them to achieve promotion was nothing short of incredible. Although they only have a tiny group of fans, they came out and showed their support for their country. Definitely keep an eye out for San Marino's rise in the future. On to the rest of Europe, the 8 best teams from League A that are moving on to the Nations League quarterfinals are Portugal, Croatia, only just, because Scotland pushed them right to the end and they needed a vital goal against Portugal to scrape through. France, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, and Denmark. Also, England were just promoted to League B thanks to a superior head-to-head and goal difference against the Greek side that pushed them all the way. In other news, Turkey narrowly lost their promotion spot to Wales after losing 3-1 to a winless Montenegro on the last day. Also, Romania were awarded a free 3-0 win after Kosovo's team bizarrely walked off the pitch in the final minute of their 0-0 draw. Now on our world tour, before we get to the Americas and a juicy story about Christian Pulisic, let's go to the Far East where we have to spotlight a rising national team. Indonesia could qualify for their first ever World Cup. The country is a sleeping giant with the 4th largest population in the world and a massive fan culture. Over this past international break, they gained a massive underdog victory against Saudi Arabia. This puts them 3rd place in the group of death. Japan, Australia, and Saudi Arabia are heavily favored to move on from the group, but if Indonesia can finish 4th, they'll move on to the next round of qualifiers. The big star from this Indonesian side is Marcelino Ferdinand, a 20-year-old who currently plays for Oxford United in the Championship. He netted a brace against Saudi Arabia, and the country of Indonesia is counting on him to lead them to their first ever World Cup since 1938. What do you think? Will Indonesia go all the way? Alright, we'll get to the news about Pulisic in a second, but first a quick recap of what happened in Africa this international break. Africa just wrapped its qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations, one of the biggest international tournaments in the world. Basically, it's Africa's equivalent of the Euros or the Copa America. An absolutely massive upset occurred, with Ghana finishing last in this group with the likes of Sudan and Niger. On paper, Ghana are one of the best teams in Africa, so this is a shocking upset. It would be like a country like the Netherlands or England missing out on the Euros. Now we are on to the Americas, starting with the CONCACAF Nations League quarterfinals. Mexico went 2-0 down to Honduras in the first leg, but pulled it right back with an incredible 4-0 win in Mexico, including 2 late goals to seal the victory. Canada comfortably beat Suriname, and Panama scraped through against their fiercest rivals, Costa Rica. Now let's talk about the US and the major headline from their fixture against Jamaica. Christian Pulisic pulled out a controversial celebration against Jamaica. The US comfortably won 4-2, but Pulisic stole the headlines when he scored the opener and busted out a fairly simple, playful-looking dance. So why is everyone talking about it? Well, this dance is dubbed the Trump dance because President-elect Donald Trump is known for using this move at his rallies. It's been gaining popularity this week after NFL star Nick Bosa and UFC star John Jones both used this dance as a celebration. Many felt that Pulisic doing this dance was a way of him showing his support for Trump and his controversial policies, but he has since claimed that he didn't mean to make it a political statement and he just thought it was funny. The dance is sparking a lot of debate online, with the New York Times claiming that he is endorsing Trump even if he doesn't mean to, and with Fox News claiming that these athletes are silent Trump supporters who are no longer afraid to come out. What do you think? Are people reading too much into this? Should Pulisic have done the dance? Let me know in the comments below. Controversy aside, let's get back to the football and wrap this up by visiting our final continent. because New Zealand is dominating in Oceania like usual, and the Penguins in Antarctica haven't quite figured out how to create organized sport yet. That's right, we're going down to South America. The South American qualifiers are the longest running, where all 10 teams play against each other twice in a league format. This international break, Paraguay notched a massive win against the best national team in the world right now, Argentina. This sees them move up to 6th place. Aside from that, there's not much else to report besides Colombia losing 2 tough games to Uruguay and Ecuador. The qualification table could shape up a number of ways, but the top 6 seem to be fairly defined, and it's going to be Bolivia and Venezuela battling to scrape through. That just about wraps up my recap of this international break. If I didn't mention your country, please let me know how they did in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to Footballers for more videos like this one.